There's a take that joke somewhere here. Something, something, let me entertain you. Here are my immediate thoughts on Better Man. Hey everyone, this is Lenny here. So I just got out of Better Man. This is the newest musical biopic that focuses on the life of UK pop star Robbie Williams. This is directed by Michael Gracey, who gave us The Greatest Showman. And this was a hell of a ride. I really enjoyed this. So this focuses on Robbie Williams and the 3 decades that he's pretty much been in the musical business. But the thing that is different about this film is that it presents Robbie Williams as a CGI chimpanzee. And this is really done to sort of give us as the audience sort of a gateway into his mindset in terms of how he sees himself. Because Robbie Williams in the movie sees himself as sort of less than evolved, but he suffers from depression, and that's something that's been documented in terms of his career. And, he went through a lot of ups and downs in terms of, his drug addictions and a lot of demons that he's facing. It seems like he had some daddy issues and, also suffered from imposter syndrome as well. A lot of things that he had to deal with in terms of his own headspace while he was famous. But the really major thing, I guess, 2 things. One, the CGI motion capture was really good. The CGI motion capture, if I remember correctly, is performed by Jonno Davies. And I think he also provided some voice work. But a lot of the voice work for Robbie Williams is actually performed by Robbie Williams himself. But also the camera work that Michael Gracey employs in this movie is outstanding. As a musical, this movie is alive. The camera is always moving. The editing is amazing in this movie. Just some of the transitions during the musical sequences are great. And this is sort of a different take on the biopic, because it's not just, telling us the story of Robbie Williams' rise and downfall and rise again that we normally see in biopics, but it is actually a musical and treats it as a straight up Hollywood musical as well. So when we're seeing certain songs performed like She's the One or Angels, they're performed in sort of this music video montage-ish manner. And it really works. It gives the movie just this dynamic energy that really propels the story forward. So we, meet Robbie Williams when he's a child. He's probably like 8 years old, and he's bullied as a kid. And he worships his dad, who worships the Rat Pack. That's like Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. and that whole crew. And his dad actually has dreams and aspirations of being an entertainer himself. And his dad actually left the family when he was young to pursue his own dreams. And there's a lot of complications stemming from that. His dad does end up back in his life when Robbie does get famous. And there's just a lot of push and pull in terms of the relationship between father and son. The father played by Steve Pemberton, and he's really great in this movie, and he's a really multi-layered character as Robbie Williams' dad. He has his own dreams, he has his own desires at the same time. He sees his son in the wings performing and doing everything that he wants to do, and you sort of wonder where his head is at. Is he feeling jealous or anything? The movie really doesn't give us any real answers. We just see looks and glances from Steve Pemberton's face, and we just have to sort of decipher for ourselves what is really going on. But the heart of this movie is the relationship between Robbie Williams and his grandmother, played by Allison Steadman, and their relationship is great and really heartfelt. And she was the one that really, really believed in Robbie Williams. I mean, his mother as well, played by Kate Mulvaney, but his grandmother was the one that they had that really close relationship together. And, we see Robbie Williams live his life when he gets famous, when he joins Take That, the boy band. And we see how fame, basically turns Robbie Williams into this monster. And I'm really satisfied that this movie does not shy away from the fact that Robbie Williams was a problem child when he was in Take That. And this is, again, stuff that is well documented. And I remember, hearing a lot of this tabloid stuff about Robbie Williams and how much of a problem child he was, and he was all over the tabloids. This is like the same time that Oasis was big, and Liam and Joel Gallagher were always fighting. But somewhere waiting in the wings, there was some sort of Robbie Williams scandal as well. And Robbie Williams hung out with Oasis, so it sort of made sense at the same time. And the film does get into some of the dynamics between Robbie Williams and Oasis. But the centerpiece of this movie obviously is the music of Robbie Williams, and the movie really gets into that. And again, Michael Gracey's direction in collaboration with that music is so great. There is a sequence when Robbie Williams is performing Angels, which is the song dedicated to his grandmother. And this is after his grandmother passes away. And it's just a dizzying scene. We're seeing, this camera work and transitions and editing from the funeral to the mansion where Robbie Williams lives in, and the anger and the pain and the anguish that he's feeling, after the death of this person who was so close and so inspirational to him. And, the movie can get to a certain point where you feel like, oh, boo hoo hoo, you're rich and famous. What do you have to cry about? But, the film does dive into his depression and to his headspace. And as someone who has bipolar, I feel that the film captured, the depression that Robbie Williams suffers really well, along with, how he deals with emotions in terms of his addictive and personality. And there's a sequence where he's just in a drug-fueled haze and things are just happening so fast, and it's almost like he doesn't know where he is. Time doesn't make sense. He's in one location, one moment, but it's just nightmare fuel. And Michael Gracey and his team does just such a great job of using the music to capture all of Robbie Williams' emotions and how he feels at different phases in his career. There are times when he is singing and he's seeing old versions of himself that are saying, you're not going to make it, you're shit, you're a fraud. And as someone who suffers from a little bit of imposter syndrome, that shit blew my mind, because I was like, yes, that is exactly how that is. So however they conceptualize that was amazing, and I really applauded the film for really being able to get that right, at least in my opinion. But yeah, this was a great film. I really enjoyed it, and what we're seeing in terms of CGI apes, whether it's the King Kong movies with King Kong and Godzilla, or the Planet of the Apes movies, where we're seeing just this, evolution, of technology that, really works in terms of a movie like this. And, as much as I liked A Complete Unknown, and I gave a high grade to, just because of the performances, I did say it did still follow the patterns of, the general Hollywood musical biopic. But this was something along the lines of Piece by Piece that followed Pharrell Williams, and that was done all Lego and was just completely wild and different. And I just really appreciate Michael Gracey taking a big swing and doing something different, giving us this musical biopic following the life of Robbie Williams. I was entertained thoroughly throughout, and at the same time, it was just a really great look into the mind of this influential pop star. So this is a blockbuster movie for me. I had a lot of fun with it. There's some stuff about Robbie Williams that I didn't know that I was really happy to hear about. And I mean, he is a bigger star in the UK than he is here, but there are still songs of his that are huge. I mean, when Angels came out, you could not get away from that song. And Take That were one of the biggest boy bands in the world. And this is, during the big boy band craze craze of like the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and 98 Degrees. So there was even a little bit of weird nostalgia, even though I wasn't a major fan of that music growing up. It was just like, oh yeah, I remember that time and I remember how crazy, girls were over these guys. So it was just a lot of fun just kind of reliving some of that. But yeah, I do recommend this movie. This was a really great look into the life of Robbie Williams. So yeah, definitely check it out. But those are my immediate thoughts and feelings on Better Man. What did you guys think of the movie? Share your thoughts, leave your comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can get notifications as well. Thanks a lot, everyone. Take care.